Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the Backfire Exotic rifle. We're going to be talking about it and I'll be showing you pretty much recommendations on how to run it. I got mine yesterday on stream, and the way you can get one is you have to get to level 55 on the season track, the season reward track. It's a guaranteed drop when you get to level 55. So I got it and I've started messing with it, and we were talking about this on stream where I actually learned a little bit more about it and the way, I feel like you can run it. There are multiple, ideas you can go with, but if you read pretty much the talent, it will clue you into what this thing can actually do. So its talent is called Payment in Kind. It says dealing damage to enemies adds a stack of 1% critical hit damage up to 200 stacks lasting 10 seconds. On reload, you apply a 10-second bleed to yourself, which deals 0.5% armor damage per stack. So every time you reload this weapon, with that action, you're going to pretty much bleed. Now, yesterday while on stream, we were discussing this particular weapon, and one of my audience members who has grinded the reward track and is a hardcore grinder basically showcased a build. He said, hey, look at my build. So I'm going to show you his build, and I know he's not going to mind. And I'll show you how he's running his own weapon, and I'll show you one other recommendation on how I'll build around this if you don't want to go that direction. Okay, now he's running a critical hit chance, critical hit damage SMG based build that's implementing SMG damage and all the crits that you can get. And also what's really unique about his build is there's a lot of hazard protection in order to mitigate that bleed whenever you reload your weapon. So if you look at his mask, it's got crit chance, crit damage, and hazard protection. That's very, very important if you want to be, if you want to actually reload your weapon and you have your stacks already really high and you don't want it to chew through your armor because your armor may be low and you don't want any more bleed, basically affecting you yourself. Because this weapon is a very potent weapon. It's actually pretty powerful. If you guys, haven't used it or haven't gotten it yet, you should try it. It really does a good job. And then his chest piece is also rolling hazard protection armor nonetheless, and it's unbreakable. This is going to replace 95% of his armor when it breaks. So that's actually pretty cool. So you get basically this, if you're bleeding and maybe your armor is low and it breaks, Unbreakable is going to be there to mitigate it for you. So this build is deemed, in my opinion, a survivability build that has damage in it because of your crits. Crits are good multipliers and sneaky ways for you to be able to gain more damage on your build. So Mr. Curse Gunner, thank you so much for even making this build and this idea. I know that, you're probably, sitting in your grind haven with all your lovely, look at these rolls. This is crazy. But many people always talk about how the game is not dropping good loot yet. And I said yesterday in my stream, you're going to find good loot. You just have to really grind for them. And it's evident here, seeing the drops that he has. Now I can say maybe this, I don't know, this backpack maybe was from the past patch. But if you look, these are new items that are from this patch, and they're looking very good. His knee pads also is a Bellstone Armory knee pads, which is armor regen based, armor on kill based. That's why he's running 2 of them, if you're wondering, in order to give him more armor whenever he takes out an enemy. It also has hazard protection. I'm guessing an ideal knee pad will probably have critical hit damage on this row here. So, good, but it could be better, I guess. And then his Cheska gloves, weapon damage, crit damage, and hazard protection. And also this has Bloodsucker as well. This backpack, hazard protection, crit chance. Better would be, crit damage, but, it is what it is. You take what you get. And then Bloodsucker, killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds max. And so that's the build paradigm that, he's using. Me, on the other hand, I would probably be in a position where I want to use the Ninja Bike, knee pads, because if I don't want to deal with the bleed, all I have to do with these knee pads is pretty much just, just put them on and rock on. That's what its job is for. Its job is to help you reload your weapon without having to worry about all of the, all of the logistics of, oh, you know, am I going to bleed or am I going to bleed to death? And it's actually pretty versatile too, because if you think about, you know, how this weapon affects you as the player, you know, you're in a place where, you know, I can also use a perfect bloodsucker also with the Bellstone Armory, but I cringe because I can't use the Coyote's Mask. Coyote's Mask is just so much more damage that it does with the way it stacks its crit. So I'm getting this Ninja Messenger knee pads at a cost, if you get what I mean. But nonetheless, it still doesn't change, you know, how good this particular, you know, build paradigm will be. If, say, maybe I was to run, like, you know, my Bellstone Armory or whatever it is, or if I went to run, you know, maybe Walker and Harris to gain more weapon damage and all of that. So let's go outside and let's take this for a spin, and I'll show you guys, you know, pretty much how this will affect you if you're using the Ninja Messenger knee pads, or if you're not using that, if you're just, you know, reloading by yourself and seeing the bleed work. Now, I know people will say, oh, a weapon that bleeds you, what kind of weapon is that? Welcome to an RPG game. I know many people may be a little, I would say, a little surprised as to how some of these things work, if you get what I mean. Who am I going to shoot? Oh, look, a bunch of bad guys. Okay, so if I reload, look at that. Okay, from empty, the weapon basically bleeds you. So let me finish all my rounds here. Reloading from empty, I should get a bleed. I'm not getting a bleed. That's weird. I guess maybe my armor mitigation is actually stopping it. I should have a bleed now. If I do a vault, I pretty much go without getting the bleed.
Serious trauma detected.
I have so much armor regen. I don't think I'll bleed. Oh, there it is. I'm bleeding now. Oh my gosh. At first I didn't bleed. I wondered why. Maybe it's a chance to bleed. This guy wants to kill me. So if I do my cover to cover run with my Ninja knee pads, I get an armor stack. Okay, you see that? I get an armor stack. And I also have armor regen too. So, you know, I'm basically mitigating the amount of armor. Someone is behind me, or someone is somewhere around me. Let's go over here. I'm gonna get a reload automatically. See that? All my ammo is reloaded in my weapon. My build is not as strong as I would like for it to be, and that's because I slapped it on together. But you guys get the point. You get the, you know, you get the reasoning behind using my Ninja knee pads. And I accidentally reloaded before I did the cover to cover run. And this fool just continues to heal. Oh my gosh, how annoying is that? So gaining the armor stacks, going after him. This is just illegal. It's gonna be legal the way you're feeling, sir. So I'm not gonna reload. I'm just instead going to do cover to cover. That way I don't bleed, and then I melt him. Okay, so that's how you can mitigate the bleed. That's how you can pretty much make sure that, you know, you don't go bleed yourself to death. The weapon is a fun weapon to use. It calls for a different style of play. And also beware, whenever you start bleeding, you know, you're in a position where your agent's gonna run a little slower. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna do this. So I would recommend that in the open world, the Ninja Bike knee pads will be a better choice for me, because that way I just have to ignore, and I can actually use cover to cover, which makes me move faster. And so my strategy is actually going to be much better. So there we go. My drone is working. It's doing its job. And yep. Backfire Exotic is basically a winner in my opinion. I mean, I know many people may have their qualms with it, but there's nothing wrong in the way that you can run it without putting yourself in danger. And if you accidentally go reload, you know, it's a playstyle that I would say you got to get comfortable with and learn a little bit more about. Okay, so that's pretty much it for me. I wanted to just make sure I showed you guys this exotic weapon, how I would say You know, you can run it just two ways, one from one of our audience members here in the community, and, you know, one from me just from my testing in the PTS. But I bet you many more better builds are going to come into place. This is a slap together build. If I put one together, I'll be happy to show you guys. If maybe one of my really good builders out there puts one together, I'll be happy to even highlight it and, you know, give it a showcase, or, you know, give it a shout out. So I'll talk to y'all hopefully in another video. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys a lot, and hopefully we'll see in another one. Peace.